So we had to have the well people come out again. When I unstuck the little pads and the on and off switch on the well, it only lasted for a day and then went out again, and then I couldn't get the well to come on again. It was like it was dead. So we called it. This is really waving today. I don't know what's going on, but anyway. You may get motion sickness watching this. But anyway, they just left. Another $550 bill. And I told them, I said, you know, for over 20 years, when we first moved here, I don't know how long the pump and all that had been in the ground and being used, but it was quite a while. And then we used it for 20 years, so it was way over 20 years. Same pump, no issues, no problems. The well motor goes out, which they say it got hit by lightning at the time, so it didn't even just wear out after all those years that it was lightning struck. But we got a new pump motor, and within a year it went out. Fortunately, it was under warranty. We got another free one. We got a free one, not another free one, a free one. But then today was the third time they came out and had to replace some of the wires going down the well. Because they told us this. They said the wires, when the water is being pumped through the pipe, the wires, go back and forth, they vibrate. And the shaft is full of rocks, so they vibrate against the rocks. Well, it wears the insulation off the wires. And then when the insulation is off the wires, it starts wearing on the copper wire itself. And then eventually it goes out, it severs, and we have no power. This is the third time. And I told him today, I said, our theory is that we didn't have any problems for over 20 years because when we first took the shaft out of the well, the wires were secured with electrical tape, like just every 12 inches or so, all the way down. So there was no vibration. There was no rubbing against the rocks. And at that time, remember, lightning hit the pump. It wasn't the wires at all. They didn't have to replace the wires at that time. But then what happened, I'm pretty sure like lightning hit at some point, because we know that we had some severe lightning, and it just blew our wires apart. And that's when they had to replace them. But they never secured the wires to the pipe. And I told them today, I said, our theory is that the wires need to be taped to the pipe so they don't shake and rub against the rocks. And he just kind of blew me off and said, well, lightning could have hit it, it could have, blew it out, blah, blah, blah. He just kind of like, I don't know. So we're probably going to go with another well person next time and tell them the wires need to be secured to the pipe. Because I guarantee this is just going to happen again. 6 months to a year, I'll be making another video that says, hey guys, guess what? My well is out again. And the reason being is the wires are severed, they're burnt. I guess I should have been more aggressive with them and just told them to do it. We want that done. But at that time, he said it would just be a few minutes and they could have it on because I think they had already done what they're going to do, and they put the wires back in and they were just like reconnecting everything. So this looks very dark. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I'll be that dark in reality or not. But anyway, we we got water. Anyway, it was. We share the well with our neighbors, so it really is only going to be $225 each. But, yeah, incidentally, that was the same price it was last time that they came out and had to replace the wires. I mean, I'm thankful to have the water on, but if I would have called him in time, I'd have probably have told him I want the wires secured to the pipes. So I guess it was like after the fact that I told him. So he just kind of blew me off. I don't know. We've been in without water for 2 days. I was just so glad to know that he said the water would be on in just a few minutes. So, sometimes I'm too nice, I think. Actually, this is kind of crazy, but I was actually digging into my wallet, and I was even after all that, I was thinking of giving $20 to go out and have lunch today. But then my wife came to the door, and I'm like, I'm not going to give him any money, because she was already like, why does this keep happening? The wires and this, they keep getting burnt, and it shouldn't be happening and all that. So it's like I put my wallet back in my pocket kind of quietly and let the guy walk off. I mean, not that she would have said anything. She knows that I do things like that. And I always, if there's any benefit of the doubt, I'll give the benefit of the doubt. So, but yeah, I think he should have taken my concerns a little more seriously about the wires being taped to the pipe, because it just makes sense. It wasn't those two guys, but it was, whenever it was back, they're the ones that told us the wires rubbed against the rocks. And they just wore through or whatever. So wouldn't it make sense to secure them to the pipe where they wouldn't do that? I think so. Anyway, God bless you guys. God loves you, and talk to him often because he's listening. And I'll see you soon.